Everyone keeps telling you to find your why. They keep telling you that you must search for what is your reasoning for doing what you do. And then you lock in and you decide, okay, well, my why is my children. My why is my family to provide. My why is because I want to make an impact that's lasting on the world. But what happens when that hard day comes? What happens when that rough morning comes? And the thing about a why is something that you have to discover. And then once you find it, when things get rough, things get tough, you're holding on to something. But what happens when your arms get tired, when your hands get tired? Do you take a break from a why? And most people take a break from a why, and they get upset because they felt that their reasoning was not strong enough. And it's not that your reasoning wasn't strong enough. The problem is a why is something that you hold on to. A why is something that you have to grab. So you need something even deeper, something even stronger than a why. What you need is an I must. See, the difference between a why and an I must is a why is something that you find. An I must is something that finds you. An I must is a calling. And usually the I must moments come through times of crisis, through times of conviction. Something that holds on to you so strong that you have to do it no matter what. And one of the biggest examples that I know when it comes to the I must came from a 12-year-old boy. Not a grown man, not a man who knew his purpose, not a man who has been searching through years of experience, from a 12-year-old, in some cases, we'll call a child. See, the thing about it is, when you're told to discover your why, you go looking for whatever that thing may be. But the why is built on emotion. And the thing about it is, even my why, I know my why. My why is my daughter. And when I think about my why, I mean, there have been times when I'm teaching this in a class and I go over the find your why moment and I show my why, and it's a picture of me and my daughter, and it brings me to tears almost. A lot of times it does bring me to tears because it should be emotional. It should be something strong enough that captures you. But we know this about emotions. Emotions can be fleeting. Emotions come and go. They fade at times. So you need something that's far stronger than a why. You need an I must. I must is a thing that drives you to move regardless of emotion, regardless of feeling, regardless of desire. It is something that tells you it does not matter how you feel. It does not matter what's going on today. It does not matter the situation. This got to get done. And this will be done. And it will be done by me. I don't care if I don't feel like it. I don't care if today is hard. I don't care if it's tough. That I must moment that we have, it brings a calling on our life that's stronger and deeper than who we are. And I know it's an I must moment because it's not something that I chose. It's something that was pressed upon me. And we have these purposes that are God-given, that are pressed upon us. And so you have to understand what your I must moment is. And so back to this child. It's a story of Jesus. And it's one of the most overlooked but most important stories in the Bible. It was during the time of Passover. And Jesus, Mary, and Joseph left their homeland and went to Jerusalem. And during this time, during Passover, all the families would come together and they would go to Jerusalem. And in this large caravan, so it would be aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, whatever the case may be, we're all together traveling up to Jerusalem. And they spent the time during the Passover in that land. And so during this time, Passover, the festival had ended, and they were heading back in a large caravan or whatever the case may be. And they went a day's journey, Mary and Joseph in the caravan with all their family. And a day's journey had passed, and they had realized Jesus was not a part of the caravan. Jesus was not there. And so after some searching, some deliberation, they decided to come back to Jerusalem to find Jesus. And now I'm thinking about this situation as a parent. And it said they took 3 days. It took them 3 days to find him. And I'm thinking about this. If I was searching for my child at 12 years old, and statistically in today's, they tell you that if you don't find a missing person within 24 hours, the likelihood of finding them drops drastically. So I know they're panicking. I know they're scared. They're wondering what is going on. And they finally find him in 3 days, after the 3 days of searching, and they find him in the temple. And Jesus is in there at 12 years old, and all the people are just surrounded by him. They're astonished because he understands what they're saying. They're asking him questions. He's asking them questions. He's giving answers, and they are astonished by the knowledge and understanding that this young 12-year-old child knows. And Mary comes up to him, and she's not astonished. She's not happy. She's a little upset because she's saying, and she says to Jesus, "Why have you done this to us?" And I was wondering, like, what does she mean? Why has he done this to us? He got left. Well, like, most of us would be upset with Mary and Joseph for leaving their child. No, that's not how that works. That's not part of tradition. You stay with the caravan. That's part of tradition. Jesus was the one that left tradition. Jesus was the one that left the caravan. So in any other situation, yes, they would be right to be upset. And so what she used was, she's like, "Son, why have you done this to me?" And in some translations, she said, "Child, why have you done this to me?" And the thing about that is, and I want you to understand, the word that was used for son in the Greek is teknon. The word teknon actually means child, as in low child, my child, someone who's younger, beneath. And so it was kind of a putting him in his place type situation. And Jesus understood what she meant. He understood the tradition, but he responded in a particular way. And he said, "Why have you been searching for me?" And he was kind of saying it in a way like, I have not been called here or sent here to be your child. Not only am I your son, but I am here on assignment. That's what I'm here for. That's my main goal, was the assignment that I have been given by God. And so, don't you understand that I must be about my Father's business? That was his I must. He understood why he was sent to earth. He understood the assignment that he was given, the calling that he was given, the thing that was placed on his life that was so great, so significant, that it was more important than any feeling or emotion that a person can have, and that anyone could have towards family or whatever the case may be, towards his mother at that moment. He understood that his purpose in God was most important, first and foremost. And it superseded anything, any tradition that there could be. And so it even talks about, I think about as well, Paul, when he was saying that woe is me if I preach not the gospel. He understood the assignment that was pushed upon him. Like it was fire that was shut up in his bones. Like he could not, there's nothing he can do. He could not stop. He could not keep quiet. Jeremiah could not keep quiet. He said, "There's fire shut up in my bones." He could not keep silent. No matter how he felt, especially Jeremiah, because at times he did not really like the people that he had to prophesy with, that he had to lead, because they were doing all kinds of wicked things. And he wanted to stop so bad, but that I must wouldn't let him. That I must wouldn't let Paul stop. The I must push Jesus. That's the first time in the Bible. That's the first time in the Bible where it talks about what Jesus said. It was the first recording of anything that he has said. It's an I must moment. So my question to you, because we may know our whys, and everybody keeps telling us to have our whys, and you should have a why. You should have a why. But you got it. What's more important is for you to have an I must. And I must is the most important thing for you to have. That why is something that gets you emotional. It keeps you connected and all that. But that I must is that fire that's in your bones. That I must keeps you from keeping silent. That I must doesn't care what the situation is or what the circumstance are, the things that are stacked up against you, the people telling you no and why you can't do it. That I must pushes you forward. So you have to have an I must. So my question is for you, what is your I must? What is that moment that happened in your life that was an I must? Because I know for me, there was a time in my life where I was at my lowest. And I was dealing with some major depression. And it was during the time that, and I'm getting personal, during the time that me and my now ex-wife were splitting up and we're getting divorced. And I was in such a low place that I did not want to be here anymore. And I did a lot of things to try to not be here. But then after God had rescued me from that moment, he showed me what my purpose was. Because even despite all the ministry and all the preaching that I was doing a lot of assignments. I was doing a lot of things. And I could preach a really good sermon. I mean, I'll tell you, I would have people in tears at times. But I did not understand what my purpose was. I was just doing things because I was told that I should do. This is what a preacher does. I was not acting or moving in purpose. Y'all, it's hot out here in Atlanta. I was not acting and moving in purpose because I didn't really know what my true purpose was. And when God revealed that purpose to me, all the stuff that I did and all the feelings that I had and felt regarding myself and regarding my failures, especially in my marriage, I felt like a failure as a father because I was breaking up the family. I mean, it was up to me to keep it together because I'm the husband. All that didn't matter. When I understood my purpose, when I understood my I must, it supersedes any feeling. Now I think back to the times, the moments that I was in that weak state, and I don't see myself ever getting back there. There's no way for me to even be there because of I must. I have to be here. God gave me purpose. There's a calling on my life, and I have to fulfill it. So I don't have time to be selfish. I don't have time to be emotional. I don't have time to not feel like doing anything. That I must is my drive. That I must pushes me. And you have to have that I must. So whatever it is, put in the comments, put your I must. Put your reason, that calling, that conviction that you have in your life that keeps that fire in your bones. Like, subscribe, and share with someone that you know is not living by purpose. Because every week, we are going deeper and deeper when it comes to living in our purpose. Well, until next time, I'm Minister Crush. Peace.